I've created thousands of SaaS product demos. So today, to help you create your own, I'm going to show you the process that I would go through to create a product demo for a company like Trello. I've chosen Trello because a lot of people are very familiar with how it works, particularly marketers, and hopefully that'll help you focus on the process rather than on the tool itself. So for those of you who aren't familiar, Trello is basically a project management tool. And if we go to their website, it'll kind of give you an idea of what they do. But essentially, they allow you to create tasks, and you can share those tasks with your team members, and you can collaborate, set due dates, those sort of things to help your team function more effectively. When I go about creating a product demo, I always start off with a plan. And the core parts of a plan are essentially this. We need to know who our audience is going to be. And there's two aspects to knowing who your audience is. The first aspect is, who is your ICP? So an ICP, ideal customer profile, you want to know, primarily who you market to. So in our case, I'm going to assume that for Trello, it's generally operational people, and maybe it's people in marketing. This is kind of helpful because it lets you use language that's going to resonate with those people more. So it's important from a positioning perspective. So that's the ICP. The other thing you need to know is what stage the viewer is in their learning process about what your product does. We're going to create a product demo that is designed to go on Trello's homepage. So this product demo needs to be for people who are very new to Trello. They need to kind of just get a basic understanding of how Trello works and what its core features are. All right, so the next stage is to figure out which aspects of the product need to be shown to somebody. So the way that I like to think about that is that you should only ever really show off 1 to 3 features, depending on how complex your app is and what stage the person is in the process of learning about your product. Given that they're new to Trello, we're probably just going to show them the absolute essentials. So what are the essentials for Trello? Well, Trello basically lists this on their homepage. They have boards, lists, and cards. So boards are pretty simple, but it's essentially a project that you can create for your team. Lists is also pretty simple, like you can have a to-do, doing, done, as they've got here. That's a very basic flow for somebody to understand. And finally, you have cards, and cards are basically where you store all of your tasks. All right, so we know, these are the core aspects of the product. Now, how are we going to actually demonstrate how these things work, and how are we going to convey the power of Trello? So then we want to think about what are our value propositions and our features, and not features, but our value propositions, our unique selling points of the application. So from my perspective, it's collaboration. The other thing that I would say that's important for Trello is that it's easy to manage tasks. And the third thing I think is important is that they are good for integration. So integrate with your existing tools. All right, so we have a little bit of a plan here, but it's not really a super clear plan. It's just sort of like, here's some features, here's some value propositions. The way that we're going to go about deciding what we should record is to basically just step it through. I'm going to say, in order to show, we want to demonstrate the board side, the list side, and the card side quite quickly. So we'll show a drag and drop of a card. We'll show adding a teammate. And we will also show show their integrations page. Look, this is a rough plan, and we're probably not going to get it perfect. It's okay if that is the case. You can basically just come back and add more steps or add more elements to your demo at a later date once we've kind of got the core essentials put in place. So let's do that now. Let's go through the process of recording a Jira setup. So I signed up for Trello. This is a completely fresh account. I just went through their standard onboarding flow, created a Trello board, created 3 lists and a couple of tasks. I also added a fake team member, Bill Gates, to join us in having fun doing the project planning. The tool that I'm going to use to record this product demo is HowdyGo. You can find more out by just Googling that. It uses a Chrome extension in Chrome where you can basically click resize and it'll set the window to the right size for your recording. 1400 by 700 is a great size. It just looks really good on a website when it's embedded. And the process you go through is, well, we just hit start recording. Okay, so we've started recording. It's going to set everything up. And the beauty to HowdyGo is that it's capturing everything in HTML and CSS, and you can add or remove steps really easily at a later date. So what I want to do is capture the process of dragging and dropping this card from to do to doing. Every time I click or interact with the page, it's going to record a new step in our demo. So you can see it's captured a step here. So let's do that now. Let's click drag to doing, and we're going to open it up. We'll add Bill Gates as a member on this particular card. We're also going to add in a due date. Click save, and maybe we will also click on add power-ups, which is where we get all of our integrations from. I'm just going to click to save this screen. It doesn't really matter where it is. And I'm also going to capture their template boards, because I think that really captures, the different ways that you can use boards in a variety of different contexts, which is really cool for Trello. So this is great. Like, there's clearly a vast variety of boards that you can use for different problems or tools. The next thing I'm going to do is hit stop. When I hit stop, essentially what happens is that HowdyGo stores all of the HTML and CSS that it needs to recreate this Trello recording perfectly in its editor. And the power of the editor is that you're actually able to adjust anything you see on the screen after the fact, because it's captured all in HTML and CSS. So to just quickly demonstrate that, I will hide this UI element. So we'll get rid of the cookies bar. We'll also hide this 14 days left so that it looks a little bit more like I've got a pro account. And I think, that's a very basic change. The next thing that we have to do is come up with a little bit of a storyline. The way that you can do that using HowdyGo is that, as you can see here, we've got each of our steps on the left-hand side. And I know that I clicked a couple of times and I didn't really need to at the beginning, so I'll just click delete. I'll get rid of those. The goal with a product demo is to try to end up with as few unnecessary things as you can, because people have very short attention spans. So what we're going to do, I'm going to do a few more edits just to sort of tidy things up a little bit more. So I noticed that this is example Trello board. I can also use find and replace for that as well. So my Trello board, it's found 8 matches and I can just replace them all in one hit. Now that I've done that, I can also, if we wanted to, we could change Bill Gates's face to a different photo if we wanted, but for the time being, I think we've got everything we kind of need. The thing that I want to show is obviously the drag and drop animation. So let's turn on animate for that. And we'll just do a quick preview to see what that looks like. Cool, okay, great. So that looks good. We've got a view of how it kind of how it flows, and we're going to start explaining some elements on the screen. So the first thing that I want to explain to people is that Trello is made up of boards and lists. So the way that we can do that is basically to duplicate this step. I'll turn off the animate for this, and I'm going to use a ripple highlight just to try to make everything kind of disappear a little bit. And in here, I can change the sort of way that this looks. So we can go, welcome to Trello. Take a tour of the platform and see how easy it is for your team to manage tasks together. Click Next to get started. Here we have a board, a Trello board, brings tasks, which collects tasks. Cards, yeah. Trello board, which has 3 lists. We can come back and edit all of this stuff later, so there's no real need to get it perfect the first time around. Okay, so now we can preview that. It'll come up. Welcome to Trello, take a tour of the platform. Cool, looks good. And then it moves on to the next one, moves across. Great. What we can do here is add in a little comment that says something along the lines of, this is a card which stores all of your task information. These cards are interactive and can be dragged between lists. Let's pick up project planning and drag it to doing. All right. Then we can, now we're in here, and instead of making somebody click to open the project planning card, we can turn on an auto progress step. So what that's going to do is that it'll essentially just do the click on behalf of the user. So we click yes, okay, this is the card, da, 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 da. Click, it drags it over, it moves the blue dot over to the next step, and then it opens up the card. All right, great, that's looking good. Now, the next thing that I want to do is incorporate some chapters into this demo. So what we're going to do is just add a chapter to the beginning. Welcome to Trello. I think that's always a pretty good starting point. Welcome to your product. And then it creates this chapter navigator down here, which is helpful for people who are viewing your demo and maybe want to go back and look at a particular flow and understand it in a little bit more detail, particularly because they can scroll around on the page and really see what the app looks like. I also want to add in a chapter here, so I'm going to add another chapter marker, and we'll call this managing cards, or actually share with your team. Cool, and we'll also add another one, add chapter marker, adding due dates. And we'll go down here and we'll add a chapter marker here for integrations and power-ups. And the last thing that I want to show is this board. Come back to Ripple, add a chapter marker. And what I'm going to do here is basically just say template boards. Okay, now I've got a little bit of a structure. What I'm going to do is just continue to tidy this up. And one thing, for example, I don't need people to click on browse the template. We'll just delete that step. We can just skip from this thing here all the way through to template boards. And I think that'll work really cleanly. What we're going to do now is just go back to here and we'll step through each of them. So Trello cards are shareable with your team. Let's add Bill Gates as a team member. It will be helping us out with the project planning. I always like to try to incorporate some kind of storyline into your demo because it just makes it a little bit more engaging. We can use the, I actually really think that a ripple box would look good here. We can resize that. And we'll also add an auto progress because we don't need to click on Bill Gates himself. And to be honest, we can also probably delete this step. So you can see how we're going from what was originally a 16-step demo to one that is already only about 11. And you just have to keep on iterating on it until you can get it as short as you can. Cards can have a variety of helpful information included on them. Let's add a due date to the project planning task for 2 weeks from now. Okay, again, I'm going to use the auto progress button. Auto progress really helps to create a bit of flow in your demo without making it a cumbersome demo to kind of work your way through, but it also gives people the context and the sort of delays enough between each of the stages to develop an understanding of what the app actually looks like and how it feels. I just deleted that step because I don't really feel like it's that necessary. Before I move on, I also want to show you that you can actually incorporate zooms into this as well. So we're going to add a zoom in. When I click zoom, it will bring up this box that will automatically be positioned in a way that probably matches where you put the click location, so this blue dot. So when I click done, it adds the zoom, and you can basically do the same thing over and over again. You just click the zoom button, brings up the box, click on it, and it adds the zoom. That looks great. Again, if you need to move it, you can do that. Just drag it. I'll do that as well. And cool. This one here, I think a ripple box. Usually with buttons, I use ripple boxes, and with these sort of point clicks, I'll try to like push it off to the side a little bit just so that people can see where you're clicking, so that it's not covering the text. Okay, click, click. And whenever we want, we can just click the preview and bring that up. All right, looks great. Drags across. Okay, the blue button moves over and it clicks on it. Trello cards are shareable. Let's add Bill Gates as a team member who will be helping us out with the project planning. Click. It shows the next thing. Okay. All right, that flow felt a bit weird. So, and I previously deleted a step from this flow. So what I'm going to do is just add it back in. I go insert step. I find, see how there's these little step not in demo indicators. I find the click that I removed, which is this one here, and I click insert. If I realize that I needed a different screen entirely included in this demo, I can go add new, and I can upload an image, or I can capture more steps with the extension and have them inserted into this existing demo. You just click capture with extension, it puts the extension into this mode, and then I can go away and do some recordings. I'm not going to do that now. I'm just going to add the step that I removed from this demo. So down here, insert, it adds it back in, and we can then just add a little bit of detail here. So ripple box, I think looks good. Trello comes with a huge range of integrations with all the tools you already use. Let's take a look at the power-ups library. I'm also going to add a zoom in because I think that'll feel more natural. So we can skip using this down here. So we go adding due dates, click. Great. And then I think that kind of puts you into the power-ups mode or the power-up screen a little bit more gently and it doesn't feel as forced. The other thing I just want to quickly show you is that, for example, if we wanted to hide the name of our workspace, that's really easy to do. We can add a blur in by just clicking on it and it'll blur it. So very, very simple to do all of these things. It's not complicated. I can blur anything that I want on the screen. All of these things that you see on the screen, they're not exactly interactive, but they are semi-interactive, which kind of helps people to get a feel for what the product is like. So they can scroll in the windows and that sort of thing. So I think we've got, the basics of a product demo here. I'll just put in a little bit more text around the integrations. Take a scroll to see a collection of integrations. Power-ups is the language that they always use. More integrations are available in app. All right. And I'm also going to put in, so the nice thing about HowdyGo, again, is that you can actually adjust the scroll position of a captured screen after you've already captured it. So when I captured this screen, it was, not showing the actual boards down here, which wasn't ideal. So what we can do is scroll down, and when I move the click location, it will automatically save that on our behalf. So that means that it'll be saved during the demo. So we can change the scroll position to anything. We can do that for any of these screens if we want to. We can scroll in this list here and then move the click position, and it'll save that as well. So really, really convenient and particularly helpful when you realize that you haven't captured a screen that you really should have. You could just duplicate it, scroll around, change the click position, boom, done. You've got a new screen. So in here, I'll just write Trello also comes with a huge library of template boards that you can use to bring your team together. Okay, and the final step is the CTA step. The CTA step is really helpful. It basically means people have clicked all the way through your demo. They understand exactly how your product works at a basic level. And at this point, they are keen and ready to take the next step. So what is the next step for Trello? Well, probably it's getting people to sign up for a free account. So you can put any text you want in here. So thanks for checking out Trello. Ready to take the next step with your team. Add in a button. And here we can put anything we want. Sign up for a free account today. We can then set the redirect URL to trello.com/signup, hit save, and then we're ready to go. We can do a preview of this demo and we can click through here. You can see all of the things that we've already done. This is looking great. As you can see, you get this restart thing. You also get this button that will link them out to the sign up page. The final step in this process is to publish this demo. So you just click publish. I'm going to leave the link to this demo in the YouTube description so you can actually have a little click through and experience what this looks like. But while we're in this screen, I'll show you a quick overview of what else is available. There's this share button, the share link here, which basically gives you this immediately shareable page that you can share with anybody. It also has a website embed, so you can get an iframe that can be embedded directly into any website that will accept an iframe. So, Webflow, most CMSs, WordPress, whatever. And also export a GIF/video if that is something that you need to do. So, and you can choose different cursor styles and get different quality levels. When I hit download, all of the changes that we made to the HTML, the scroll position, the blurring, the hiding of those different elements, they all get incorporated into the video or the GIF that you export as well. So really helpful for creating little snippets of feature releases or whatever. It's just a great tool to have at your disposal as a marketer. That really summarizes this the process that I go through to create a product demo for a SaaS product. I'm going to share a lot more of these videos on my YouTube channel. So head over to my YouTube channel and you might find one that is closer to your product category. I'm adding them over time. And of course, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video, please leave a comment down below if there's a particular tool that you'd love to see demonstrated, or if you would like a little bit more detail about any of these elements. I'm really here to create product demos and give you some tips along the way so that hopefully you can create your own product demo for your SaaS product. Thanks so much for watching. Just a reminder to subscribe. Have a great day.